Millions of Americans are feeling brutally cold temperatures as a polar vortex hits cities in the Midwest, on the East Coast, and even in the South, threatening record-breaking temperatures and even lives. Thousands of schools around the country have closed, and cities like Chicago have even adopted the hashtag Chiberia to describe the frigid air. Some of us have never even heard of a polar vortex. Some people say that it is not a real thing. And we have a satellite image here. And so just explain it for us. What is a polar vortex? Why are we so cold? Where did this name come from?
Listen, a polar vortex, we've been using the name in this field. I've been in this field 23 years. This isn't anything new. But I think what has happened now with the social media and Twitter and Facebook, there's more information coming out. Usually meteorologists would never even use that term because people wouldn't understand it. But all it really is an upper level low. But it originated in the polar regions. It came southward, and the upper low itself has all the cold air with it. So as it moves along, it takes the cold air with it. Yesterday in Chicago, it was 15, 16 below in the afternoon. Once the polar vortex moved east, it actually warmed up a little bit, not much. And now the core of the cold is over the east, and that's why we had all the record lows this morning in Baltimore, LaGuardia, Newark, JFK. I can go on forever. Very, very cold air mass.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's certainly the perfect kind of name for the internet and Twitter age, because polar vortex, as scary as it is, is also very catchy. So how long are we going to be feeling the effects?
Well, the cold air mass is over the east right now. Now, tomorrow's still going to be a cold day up and down the eastern seaboard. And real field temperatures this morning were anywhere from 30 to 40 below from Chicago toward Minneapolis. And that's been the other part of this air mass. Not only is it cold, we had the wind, which made it feel even worse. But the cold is now moving away. Tomorrow is still cold, but we will moderate things as we head toward the latter half of this week and over the upcoming weekend.
Okay, moderate things. It's, here in New York, it was 5 degrees this morning when I was walking to work, and then I was looking at the weather, and it said that it was going to be 55 degrees on Saturday. And, just these extreme changes. It's crazy. I don't know how people do it.
Well, you know what? It's winter. This happens. And I think sometimes I always say this, that I think in this country, we don't have a good sense of weather history. And when you look at the history of the weather in this country, that spans back into the late 1800s and through the 1900s, I mean, you see swings like this. Remember, we live in a country where extreme weather is not the exception. It's the rule.
All right. And so finally, Bernie, what are we going to be seeing throughout the rest of the week? You say that hopefully the polar vortex will have some mercy on us all. But how long is it going to take?
Well, it's only going to take a couple of days. Again, there's going to be moderation as we head toward the end of the week. And I think as we even get into next week, there's going to be a warm-up. However, from what some of the evidence I'm looking at right now, the cold will come back toward the second latter half of January. And by the way, this same pattern that has been producing all the cold and the snow, the other big problem with it is Southern California. They just continue to miss out on the rain. I see no rain there, at least for the next week or so. So that drought is going to get far worse before it gets any better.